All right, well, let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone is dying to talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people really care about pointless award ceremonies. So, hey, why not? No, I'm just sorry to start with that energy. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces 2024 inductees Cher, Jimmy Buffett, Mary J. Blige, Dave Matthews, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, and more. Okay, Dave Matthews, really?
Yeah, Cher, really?
I mean, no disrespect, Dave Matthews. You're a good guy. Like you have a badass drummer, and but I don't know if like they should just make the Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it should just be Music Hall.
If it was that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But like
okay, and two, like could you imagine if they like were like, hey, let's put Macklemore in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyway, let's read this. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has revealed the names of 16 artists or other musical figures who will be inducted, in 2024. It's a diverse list that stretches from R&B rock pioneer Big Mama Thornton to pop superstars Cher and Dionne Warwick. Now, I will say, like R&B and blues and stuff, like that's the roots of rock. So I'm not mad about that at all.
But it's also not rock either.
No. I mean, it's like putting Ozzy Osbourne in the Soul Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing because it's like James Brown, I would argue, is the real king of rock, but he wouldn't necessarily be considered rock, but his shit rocks. You know, like a lot of it.
I just like when I hear Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm thinking I'm thinking totally different than what it is.
Tribe Called Quest is another one. I think they're brilliant, and like for their era, they were one of the best. But like I don't know if the Rock Hall of Fame is, but then again, like Run DMC, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing with it took Judas Priest so long to get in there, and some of these other bands that deserve to be in there, and then Eminem gets in.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like Eminem, they should be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, or you know, maybe they need to have like a offshoot or something. And
Dolly Parton,
I don't know. Like on the other side too, I'm like, why does it need to be segregated? Like it's all rock, you know, to some degree.
We'll stop calling it rock and just call it music.
Yeah, just call it the Hall of Fame or something.
Yeah.
The Music Hall of Fame. Like, and then have like the rock section and the hip hop section or whatever. Because like is there a country Hall of Fame?
I'm sure there is.
Probably.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure that they're putting anyway, let's keep reading. Surprisingly, Jimmy Buffett pops up among the included inductees. So this is another thing about this that people lost their minds about. Like not all of the inductees are for like the performer category. Some of them have these like weird little categories, but about this year, but he had never been nominated before. He died too. So it's like, that's another thing. It's like a lot of this nomination stuff just feels like emotional shit where it's like, oh, we got to put Jimmy Buffett because he died this year. And it's like, Jimmy Buffett's great, but like, again. So anyway, let's see. 7 months ago, here we go. But the Rock Hall's committee was clearly in a sentimental mood after his death 7 months ago and took the liberty of ushering Buffett in via a separate non-voted category for musical excellence. The honorary category is also the side door through which the committee installed two other performers who had been nominated before without ever being selected by voters, Warwick and MC5. The latter group had been, MC5 should be in there, been nominated 6 times without ever being voted for. Only Chic had been nominated more times. And Chic is a disco group.
Yeah.
With musical excellence classification. The Rock and Roll Hall finally took matters into their own hands, installing the influential 1960s quintet. For the first time, the inductees were announced as part of an American Idol broadcast. Performer. So this is what I was saying. They have these different kind of breakouts, and these are the performer category. And then there's a musical influence award, and then a musical excellence award. So I don't know how they do that. Do they all get the same basic like treatment or what? But that's how they kind of broke it out. And see,
I really see 3 on there that I would, or 4 maybe that I would consider
rock.
Yeah,
like Foreigner,
Peter
Frampton, Ozzy and
Peter
MC5.
Frampton. Yeah, MC5. Yeah.
The rest of them, and I didn't clip all this article, but some of them they go into are like producers and writers. Even like the 8 performer inductees were the ones selected by a ballot sent out to the Hall's voters after 15 nominees were announced on February 10th. That leaves 7 nominees from this year who will have to wait for another crack at getting in. Mariah Carey, Jane's Addiction, Sade, Sinead O'Connor, Oasis, Lenny Kravitz, and Eric B. and Rakim. Like, if anyone from rap should be in there, it should be Eric B. and Rakim. They're like some of the earliest rappers to exist in history. One question mark is how Cher will react to her induction. Just last December, in an appearance on the Kelly Clarkson show, she said, "You know what? I wouldn't be in it now if they gave me $1 million. I'm never going to change my mind. They can just go, you know what, themselves." At that point, though, she had never received so much as a nomination, so the odds favor her changing her tune on that now that she got voted in for her first time actually appearing on the ballot. 5 of the 8 voted in this year were first-time nominees: Osbourne, Cher, Frampton, Foreigner, and Kool and the Gang. A Tribe Called Quest got in on the Hip Hop Collective's 3rd time on the ballot. Let's see. Blige and wait, my bad. What the hell just happened?
I don't know. What'd you do, man?
Oh, I went to the. I see what happened. There's like a bunch of stuff on the stage, and I just like clicked the wrong.
Oh, that's all right.
Clicked the wrong button. Okay, so anyway. Tribe Called Quest. It was Blige and Matthews both got in their second try. Frampton, for his part, beyond the merits of having had one of the biggest albums of all time, maybe a sentimental favorite this year due to his being in the acknowledged twilight of his musical career. He's been out on a farewell tour and off and on since 2019, following his diagnosis with the debilitating disease inclusion body myostis. Wow. In 2015, the rocker just wrapped up the last round of dates he had scheduled, although he has not said there won't be more. It does not come as much. Okay, so this is what I thought was funny after the Cher thing, because then they go into this, and this is the last little bit on this. It does not come as much surprise that Oasis did not make it in after the now defunct group's singer Liam Gallagher went out of his way to disparage the Hall as an institution after the nomination. Perhaps preemptively, given that no one considered his band an automatic first ballot shoo-in. More surprising to some may be the fact that O'Connor did not make the voters' cut, even after a wave of newfound appreciation for her following her death last July. So it's like the whole thing is like is political.
Yeah.
Anyway. It seems like it's like, okay, like they're just putting people in there because they're like, we have to like, cover everybody, and it's not really about like the merits. But how do you base that on merits too? If you did that, you'd have to base it on like album sales or whatever. Yeah. And if you do that, then people are going to be mad because it's not always the best selling albums that are the best. So you know, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, it's par for the course for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They've done this kind of shit since they've always done that kind of stuff and pissed off people. And the bands that are typically rock and roll have a hard time getting in. And it's just, I mean, it doesn't surprise me.